Hello everyone, this is the Evil Chocolate Cookie, and I am making this video in direct response to the newest article that came out from Accessible Android, which I will put a link to in the description. Although as much as I respect that website, I am extremely disgusted with them right now. And I do mean extremely disgusted. So for those of you who saw my community post from a couple of nights ago, there's this Android app called Tech Freedom that has like a bazillion different tools in it. App backup, password saver, image generator, image describer, that kind of thing. Media player, notes, document converter. There's all kinds of stuff in it. Well, until recently, it has been completely free. But on the 27th of April, with zero notice to us, they're just like, oh, by the way, now we're making you choose between ads or paying us. Well, ads and restricted features. Had they just been little banner ads, it wouldn't have been a problem, I'm sure. But anyway, on to the meat and potatoes of this. The problem is not with the price of the subscription. No, that's actually fine. They only want $10 for a whole year, which is what most mainstream places would charge you for a month. So that part I can respect. However, when I opened up the app Monday night to see what the changes looked like, I got the following message. Ad blocker, VPN, or proxy detected. Please disable your ad blocker, VPN, or proxy to access this app. Followed by an exit button. Translation: either you disable your ad blocker and let everything flood you with ads, or you don't get to use our app. And then Accessible Android has the nerve to claim this is okay because they need to make money. I don't deny that people need to make money, but if the cost of you making money is my privacy, then that's not okay. And I don't care how big or small of a company you are, you don't get a free pass. If I don't get a free pass to murder someone just because they're an asshole, then you don't get a free pass to demand I disable my ad blocker because you're a small corporation. So yeah. Not only do they pull that card, but they act like we're all entitled because we're upset about this. Let me give you some information on why ads are problematic. For one, those full-page ads have this nasty tendency of locking up our entire device to the point where we have to hard restart it because they do something that causes our screen readers to freeze badly. And then we can't move, and then it overheats the device, and it locks it up, and we have to hard reboot. I'm speaking from experience here. I've had to do it on several devices. 2. The video ads. They usually don't have a close button that our screen readers can see. The sighted users, and this is another argument they tried to pull, well, the sighted users have to deal with this too. Yeah, they have a close button. I have never heard my mother or my sister complain about an ad that didn't have a close button. And I know how frequently ads come up in games, so if they'd seen it, they would have mentioned it. Because it would have annoyed the crap out of them too. So we get stuck in this endless loop of restart the app to get rid of the ad, try to do the thing again, get another ad, restart the app to get rid of the ad, try to do the thing again, get rid of the, restart, get another ad, and it's just around and around and around and around and around and around and around. And how nobody sees that that is a problem is beyond me. So what's the solution to that? 2 words: ad blocker. Some people think ad blockers are only for browsers, but if you can get something that will let you use a DNS host name instead of an IP address, maybe even if you can get the host name resolved into an IP address, I've never tried that part, but there are ad blockers that you can use. The one I use, I'm going to tell you exactly the host name that you need to put in or try to get resolved if you want to use it. It's p2.freedns, that's freedns, .controld.com. If you're on Android, go into Network and Internet, scroll down to, like, it says something about private DNS or something like that. Switch from automatic to provider host name. Put in that host name and hit save. Poof! Ads. Gone. Throughout 99% of the system. It won't work in Chrome, which is why I use Firefox. But Trivia Crack. Gone. Akinator. Gone. ASR. Gone. Dice World, gone. Web Pages, gone. Outlook, gone. BitLife, gone. And it's not like we're trying to deprive these people of their money. Well, maybe the big ones like Outlook, because they're not hurting for our money. It's just because leaving the ads be causes us endless navigation problems. And somebody that's like, oh, well, you should just deal with it. No. More like the people that are creating the ads should redesign their ads so they're not so much of a darn problem if they want people to run them. The fault here lies with people who demand you disable ad blockers, not with us for being quote-unquote entitled. In the case of Tech Freedom, when I got their email, because I did get an email from them, notably like a couple of days after they made the change, but I did get their email and I read it. When I saw their prices, I was more than willing to pay their subscription. I was going to pay for a whole year. But when they pulled that please disable your ad blocker shit, I immediately deleted the app, wrote a scathing review on the Play Store, and told them off. Because you don't tell me how to run my device. You don't tell me what settings I'm allowed to have configured. And oh, they're a small company. Yeah, that doesn't stand either. Because everyone has the right to not be tracked by ads. Everyone has the right to not have their devices screwed up by ads. And that causing devices to overheat thing, that can actually damage your device. If you damage my device because you insist on forcing ads, then you're going to pay for the repairs. Not because I don't think I should have to, but because I think it's your fault the device got damaged, not mine. Look, I take care of my electronics. I treat them like little babies. So I try to take extra good care of my devices. But if your ad is causing my device to overheat to the point of damaging it, that's the fault of you and your ad. That is not my fault. And if I want to use an ad blocker to protect my device and my privacy, that's my choice, not yours. It's not entitled for us to want basic privacy, and that includes our ad blockers. I hate to say this, but thanks to that article and the way people reacted, I have lost a lot of respect for Accessible Android over this. Because they are accusing us of being entitled because we don't want to deal with intrusive ads that mess up our screen readers and lock up our whole devices. So we run an ad blocker. The last app I had that demanded I disable my ad blocker to use it was a multi-million-dollar corporation. They got the same treatment. The app was deleted, they were given a scathing review on the Play Store, and a very scathing email was sent to their support. Like, I wasn't an asshole, but I wasn't mincing words either. So yeah, You force me to disable my ad blocker, I don't use your software. Simple as that. Not only do I not use your software, I will tell everyone I know not to use your software. I've got friends who are software and web developers themselves, and even they don't think this should get a free pass. So yeah, it's not our fault that we don't.
Low battery warning. Charge me, please.
It's not our fault that we don't want our devices screwed up, or we don't want to get stuck in an endless loop. That's the fault of the ad designers. What we do to protect ourselves from expensive repairs and endless frustration, there's nothing wrong with that. And another thing they touched on and essentially went after us for is cracked apps. And I will say this, normally, I'm not okay with it, as I'm sure all of you know. But there is an exception to my rule. Actually, two exceptions. One, if it's a multi-million-dollar company that's not hurting for my money. And two, if the developer is proved to be an asshole. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's time they get a taste of their own medicine. And if that involves me running a keygen on your software because you're being greedy and or an asshole, well, that's the way it's going to play. Guys, I do know how to use keygens. I'm not going to lie. I've never paid for VMware Fusion in my life. But this going after us, acting like we're the bad guys for, trying to get stuff that we need in any way that we can. Sure, I believe in supporting the software developers when you can. But some of us just don't have any money. And they're trying to throw out and invalidate all of our excuses. Well, I've got bills to pay, blah, 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 blah. And they're trying to invalidate all of that. I don't know who these people actually are. I don't know much about these people. But clearly, if they're trying to invalidate our need to pay bills over paying for software, either they don't have bills or they've got some extra padding in their pockets and are being very judgmental of the ones of us who don't. And that's not okay. I will not sit here and stay quiet while this kind of thing goes on. In our own community. From the people you'd think would understand the most about not having any money. Because we're not allowed to. You'd think they would understand, but no, they're attacking us. And calling us entitled. And it's not okay. I will not sit here and listen to that without saying something about it. So now I've said something about it, and I'm going to shut up before I go on even more rants. Because, trust me, there's plenty more where that came from. So I'm going to upload this. I will put that article link in the video description. And yeah, I'm not happy with them right now. One, for trying to give free passes for privacy invasion, and two, for acting like it's our fault because we're so darn entitled. I grant you there are some entitled brats out there. But acting like that's all of us, that's a massive generalization and it's not cool.